This is the Alliance News Center. In our darkest hour they are here. We have been waiting for millennia, and here they are. We will bring you the latest as they try to bring our world back to balance. We have struggled, we have suffered. But the writer willed them, he introduced them, he built the path for them. No, it's not that Messiah, but those you woundly called, the fallen ones. Those who have brought fear to every bad leader, priest, and corporate boss. Now a new hope arrives.
Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force.
The Force?
And the Force is what gives the Jedi his power.
Even though after 40 years or so, I expect more from that country to see it, although they don't make up the whole fans in the world. I've truly dived into it, been told as well, seeing subtleties within it. And this is what I think, what these others, just because they've seen someone or me or whatever on the website, they think they're getting special knowledge or treatment or something. You know, we don't need to, because we know the story so well anyway, and it's only because of the way things are that so many people don't. When you're told, you'll know. So I had to write this down because I didn't remember it all. People think that the Sith is so powerful and it gets easier because it's cheating, but the main messages which you never got to see is what the Sith really become. When I was talking about what the Sith already are and what Elstree told us about the sequels, well, pretty much on the ball on that, and when they did tell us anyway. And I didn't really have much of the story, and even though the sequels are just as I was told, a very first part of episode 7, is it? I don't know. Yeah, 7. Yeah, because 3, 6, 9 are the magic numbers. It's up the pyramid of knowledge and everything. It's even seen on one of the Ashla Bogan things, even though that's just the draft. It's all connected to 369, and that's how Egyptian writing is, and that's all what you got to understand about not just the initiate, but Egyptian writing and its phonetic talk, and how it wasn't known by everyone. Normal people didn't read the hieroglyphics. The Red Coptic didn't understand it, and they still don't understand it now. We've seen it, well, not right on me now, but you know, in the other environment, alphabets, you can get an English hieroglyph alphabet, but there was no E and W in Egyptian hieroglyphs. And when you look at the name of Cleopatra, how that's spelled, I mean, it's all over the place. You could say anything really. Pyramids are not tombs, much older. Hopefully it'll be on the back of this video, and I hope so much that it stays on, and we'll try and post it so many times. It tells you about the Djed pillar. Now, how it is spoken phonetically, it's like saying cat, car, or car, you know what I mean? That little change at the end is, but adding things to it too makes all the difference. And they found the symbol, the exact symbol that we use. They still didn't, and Egyptologists do not know what it means still. Unfortunately, I don't know if anyone's heard about this, but Lucas was going to do some documentaries in Egypt, looking into the past and to the no one thinks you can get off the ground anyway, and if it would be, it'd have to be in Britain anyway. Why? His obligation's been done. He's getting old. I mean, just let him be. All these people saying, oh, we want him to do this, do that, and do that. All this disinformation. I've been told the disinformation channels on here are amazing. I keep saying that he's coming back to rewrite all this, that, and the other. And Disney are just lying about what he said about the sequels anymore, saying that Maul's coming back or whatever his name is. He would not use the same character again. The only characters that he uses, which people always get wrong and say it's always this, the wills. You know what the wills is? It's George Lucas's will to get this done, to get this message out, to get people enlightened. It is his will. It is his will to do that. When people are going on about how he's rich, he is burdened by it. He hates it, and that's why that's been mentioned. Lucas Foundation and Lucas Education, because he spent millions on that, doing that, and just enjoying that money. It's a burden to him. That is what humanity did not understand. That it's a burden to have certain things. people don't think it's fun, but it's not fun, it's burden. A lot of psychics, sort of people with ESP, even though they're not being burnt at the stake anymore, if it's fun, it's not fun. Most people try to run away from it, don't want the role, part of it. This is sharing knowledge, and for nothing. Do you know what I mean? This is not because no one nothing. We don't expect nothing from you. We're not asking patron or pay this, pay that, pay this, click that, or do anything. We might be having one of our own artists that funds our projects in Africa, doing the digging wells and stuff. I'm not sure if it's been released yet. It's called Djedi Sync, and that is again with the symbol on why we have 448 and not 433. The problem is that people still look at the Jedi in the films like they still are that. Even the films are in the past. I mean, a science fiction film in the past. They're not realising that it's still set in the past. They think that they still have them same problems, and that's why the sequels fail, because it's hodgepodge, purposely done to mash up the messages. Religion is control. You are gods. You are the gods. That connection which you once had with nature and harmony and all that lot is that word, and that's what it means in Africa, India and China. Prana, Mani, Qui-Gon, all that lot. Go on about the story about the Qui-Gon Jinn another time, and the show Katano, which means stuff as well, and Typhon. They aren't told in the 6 films. People are looking in books, even though they're written by other people, just like the mantra, which just doesn't make sense. It's not used, and most of the codes aren't used. And we're never meant to be used because they weren't even written by Lucas, because Lucas didn't write it. You know why he didn't write it? Because it wasn't up for him to write, because he was still learning at the time. That's why he kept changing things before it come out. He said it, I didn't know this, but he said it to a few people. He said it to his friends, some filmmakers' friends, I don't know. It's interesting to see how many people will see more in Vader, the Invader, or Luke. You do realise that George Lucas is the sort of hero of his own story. And why not? It's his obligation, it's his story, and look what they did to it. That says everything. That's just like the way they put Jedi Christ on the Ankh. It's it's like a attack back, saying no, this won't happen. But this rule of 2, we do sort of kind of believe that in a way, but it's not evil in that way. It's a choice. Bad choices, not bad people, not bad entities. Man created evil, and that they created evil for. It's an excuse, just like they created gods, an excuse to do what? To do terrible things to other people. And what has it done used for today? To preach hate. And go have another series while I'm across the year about who these preachers really are, because we've been hearing stories that they're not even ordained ministers, they are government agents that are riling up people with hate messages. That's why they're coming out so much now. This is why it's all coming out right now. They're even trying to say that the Middle Ages didn't happen. I know some bits of time didn't happen, yeah, but not the whole Middle Ages. Do you know what I mean? And same Britain with the bad ones and stuff like that, and they were, although they were rivals with the Catholics, but this again, sorry, unintelligent and American vlogger was trying to say that they were like as if they're pals, or even though Henry VIII divorced and the Catholics hated Britain. That's why they sent the Catholics to Scotland and Ireland to destabilise Britain, and did so with America, because it's not American people's fault, it's the American system, and that's the same system that those in the films trusted in. That is how they failed, and it was not the Sith, wasn't that Palpatine that defeated them. He wasn't one who pulled the trigger. Remember that. It wasn't him who pulled the trigger. Who could have stopped this? He's in a Senate. He's a republic still, in a way. You know, okay, he's proclaiming he's an empire, but he's still in a room with other people. So what could have happened? You tell me, what could have happened to have stopped that? If people, you know, they had trust in the system, and as I've told you, there's a Luke, and he says you have to Luke is it's only observational how it's portrayed. It's the Luke of the two main masters. The black guy, Samuel L. Jackson, and the green one, Yogi or whatever it is. The Luke that they give each other, that they know, yeah, and that this emotion thing, it was nothing to do with anyone else. It was because and it's not told in the story, but I suppose it would have been told in the next one, because as he said to me, is that it would tie up the prequels and the originals together. It's meant to tie them up together as well. If you know what, you probably understand it better than me, but it's meant to tie them up, and he would never have had the promises of like Chewbacca not finishing his life debt to Han Solo. He had some kind of life debt to him, and he would have died instead, and Han would have got his Han or Harris, the actor, I don't know. Anyway, you know what I mean. The one who flies the Falcon is Horace, by the way. I mean, when they go off in the Falcon doesn't defeat Sat, by the way. It only makes him think that, because Sat takes out the eye of the Falcon. I mean, that's why the Falcon's is like lopsided. And I didn't even know that until I saw it. I thought, no way, is that supposed to represent Horace's eye? Sat taking Horace's